vibes this morning, good vibes. This is the video I should have uploaded time ago. This is how I secured a training contract at a Magic Circle law firm. As a heads up, it's a very personal journey, so it's not going to be a case of oh yeah, do this, apply for this, do this, go to the vacation scheme. It's not going to be a step-by-step process. It'll be more of a story. What underlies my story is that at the end of my first year of uni, my family and I were evicted from our home, and it was just all a mess. So that experience of homelessness and trying to navigate the financial pressure and emotional pressure of things at home, plus trying to obviously pattern your degree and then pattern a grad scheme / TC was my driving force, plus something really challenging me. So when I touch on homelessness throughout this video, that's the main thing throughout it. I really hope, even though it's such a personal journey, I really hope that some of you guys can pick up some specific themes. So it could be I don't know, having your backs against the wall. It could be a case of having a clear strategy. It could be a case of learning as you go and figuring it out. But there should be something in it for you guys. It's gonna be really long. As a short answer, if you guys are nah, I'm not trying to watch 20 minutes, bro. Basically, go to things like SEO Scholars, go to things like Rare Recruitment, aspiring solicitors, make at least 15 applications, enhance your commercial awareness, and put yourself out there. That's the short answer. But if for you guys who actually want to sit down and listen, enjoy.
Isn't there anything on that isn't about boxes?
And welcome back to Championship Boxing.
I guess this is okay. I mean, it's not really about boxes. I give up.
This is the video everyone has been asking me to make, or if they haven't been asking me to make, they've been DMing me saying, "Oh, Tash, how do you get a TC? How do you get a TC? Etc. etc." Cool. So this is a vloggy style explaining how I got a training contract at a Magic Circle law firm. I'm going to keep it really organic, really real, and give you step-by-step guidance with a couple of takeaways in terms of how I got a TC. So look, let me show you my little plan. Look, what we need, everything here is what we need. So the key takeaways before we get into it is that I grew up in a council estate for, I'll tell you right now, half my life. Half my life? No, but by the time I started uni, half my life. So I came from the bottom figuring things out. I had to strategize things so much to get there. I had to put myself in the hat before anything can happen. I had to try. I still have privilege. So even though I came from a council estate, I still have privilege. I am a 6'2", black, heterosexual, cisgender guy. I definitely have privilege and English in my spoken language. And I'm going to break it down by step, by sixth form, first year, second year, third year, until I got my TC. I hope you guys enjoy it. In terms of privilege, I feel like a lot of these videos, people tend to overlook their privilege. I'm not gonna overlook my privilege. So even though I had those challenges, I still lived in London. So when it came to vacation schemes, everything was local for me. I had to strategize. So my main plan wasn't to go to uni. My main plan was to try and play football. If the man them know I'm really good at football. I want to play football for time. And I was nah, I can't do that. So I ended up going to uni, and I had a real good approach there. And I put myself forward for every single opportunity. So let's start. Sixth form. Sixth form was cool. I did standard A-levels. And for anyone watching this, you can do any A-levels to study law or to do any degree. Because when you go to uni, you don't need to do a law degree to be a lawyer. So for me, I did English, psychology, sociology, and I got A-star, AA. So that's another thing. I got good grades. I can't lie to you, it's really easy for me. So I got good grades, it wasn't easy for me, but my path was easier. So let me just caveat that too, because a lot of people, they're oh yeah, it's fine, whatever, just work hard. I was privileged in that degree. In that regard, I got good grades. So anyways, A-star, AA for A-level. And then after that, I had a year out because I said I wanted to play football, so I tried to play non-league football for a year. And then long story short, it weren't going to happen. It weren't working for me. So I said, okay, I am going to go to uni. At first, I wanted to do psychology at Durham or Loughborough. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do psychology. So I thought about some more, and I said, well, I can read and I can write, just about. I ain't going to do maths, I ain't going to do science, and I want to make money. And I also like social development, so I like debating, etc, etc, etc. I was like, lawyer, very easy, see him on TV, so cool. I went to law school at Warwick, And in first year, what happened? Let me break it down, let me slow it down now. In first year, my main thing was dealing with imposter syndrome. So I tried the hardest, I grind my hardest, and I just wanted to make sure I got a half decent degree, okay? Nothing spectacular. Alongside this, I had the benefit of being on a scholarship program for like underrepresented, underprivileged, working class, free school meal sort of vibe, black lawyers or ethnic minority lawyers. So because of that, I got a £2,000 scholarship fund, plus my standard maintenance loan and my maintenance grant, and a load of open days with my scholarship while still trying to like work hard or whatever. So my first year, my season looked a couple of open days. I played for the football team. I was in a uni football team, and I ended up just scraping it at 2-1. But the most important thing for my first year was putting myself in the hat, i.e. applying for that scholarship, because at first I was like, I don't really want to apply for it. Should I apply for it? I ended up applying for it, got extra money, and by applying for it, I went to a couple of open days, so I was able to learn things. Straight away, I didn't know that much, but like over time, I was getting this. So like, I knew about etiquette in the office. I knew about how to wear a suit. I knew what colour suit to wear. I knew what questions to ask. It gave me confidence to know that I can actually write a half decent application where people will consider me. And the main thing was like creating that foundation in first year with the grades. A lot of people say you don't need to get a 2-1 in first year, don't count. But let's be honest, when it comes to vacation schemes or first year schemes, these guys look at your grades, so don't let people fool you. And some people don't have the same privilege. I didn't have a privilege of like being able to like wing it and figure it out later, or like doing a master's for free because my parents pay for it. No, I had to work hard. So if you guys are like me and you said, no, I don't really have an option, grind. I'm not gonna lie to you, I grind. I just scraped a 2 over 60%, finished the year. Good, cannot complain. Okay, first year done. Second year was when things started to cook up. I had a bit of skin in the game. I had my open days. I got my 2-1. I survived. Of course, we had the turmoil of losing the house. That wasn't great, but we're there. So, second year, I picked very specific modules, and I've got a video on this actually in terms of picking modules and how to do well. So I picked easier modules. Of course, navigating the whole homelessness thing, and like I had to like get myself on my feet. So I bought a car in second year with my student loan. I continued to play football. I still work part-time, but realistically it's about me looking after myself and ensuring that I perform when I had to. So I ended the year with a 2-1, but what was important in between was really good. So at the end of summer 2017, I was able to get a vacation scheme with an American law firm, a big IP regulatory law firm. And that stemmed from that scholarship program I spoke about in first year, i.e. putting yourself in hat. So as I said, as part of the scholarship program, we went on a couple of open days. And on one of these open days in second year, we went to this IP law firm. Pretty cool, and they're American as well, so they pay decent money, all that malarkey. And they said they're recruiting for vacation schemes. And in Jan, I was like, should I apply? Should I not apply? And this was genuinely on the day of the deadline. I was like, oh, should I apply? Oh, it's not really a good application. I'm sending on the deadline. It's not worth it. I still sent it out. And I had an interview and I got a vacation scheme. That was one of the biggest things of second year. And what else happened in second year? I'll tell you right now. In second year, I also joined Rare Recruitment, and I was part of their articles program. And that was essentially a contextual recruitment company, i.e. they look at underrepresented ethnic minorities who perform well, i.e. me. So me, black, council, state, free school meals, whatever. So I was on this program, and part of the articles program allowed us to go to 10 or 11 different commercial law firms in the city, have open days, engage with them, learn, speak, network. So I did that at the start of second year, around 2016, August, September, and in December. And then I learned a load of skills there, applied for different firms, whatever. But I was able to get a vacation scheme with this American law firm. And I also actually, I turned down a couple of interviews. I turned down an interview with Travis Smith. I turned down an interview with McFarlane's. A couple of things, because basically the date this law firm vacation scheme sent, it literally was in the middle of all the other ones, and I didn't apply for any Easter ones, so I sort of shot myself in the foot. If I could go back, I would have like done it in a way where I had some winter vac schemes, some Easter vac schemes, and some summer vac schemes. But as I said, this is all about learning as you go, and I put my name in the hat and I had this one vac scheme. Okay, so we end second year, as I said, 2-1. a low 2-1. I think I got like 62, 63 or something. Had the VAT scheme. Of course, I didn't get the offer. But one thing I want to take away from this is that, like, even though I didn't get the offer, I still learned so much. The experience was invaluable, and the networks were invaluable, and I was confident. So after that, I had two more straight TC interviews. I had one with McFarland's, and I absolutely bombed that interview. Like, basically, I didn't prepare enough. I thought I'd be ready because I was like, you know what, like, I just came out of that scheme, I'm a bit red hot, whatever. Bombed the interview, wasn't sexy. And I also had one with Ashurst, I think. Bombed that interview as well. And I think by then I was just knackered. I completely bombed those interviews. Didn't get the offer. Got some feedback, wasn't constructive. I didn't get any feedback for one of them, actually. And I also had work experience in the House of Parliament with a Labour MP. Like, that was really, really good experience. And I finished with the year just working clerks. But long story short, I did well. I had a VAT scheme. I got a 2-1, and I had a couple of other interviews and whatever. And all these times, I'm homeless. Like, I'm then I was staying with one of my friends. Like, I had nowhere to stay, so I was happy with myself. Now going into third year, this is where things really start happening. And also going into third year, I wanted to get a first class. That was my whole thing. I wanted to get a first class, and I was like, okay. So going into it, I was thinking, you know what? My second year wasn't too bad. I got a 2-1. Even though it was a low 2-1, I had a vacation scheme and I got a load of experience. I met networks, got more confidence. And this is all whilst not having a home, also not having no precedent in terms of like what to do, etc. And it's really just my first time doing things. So like, I've done okay. Like, I've really done okay. So I was like, okay, cool. I want to get a first class and I still need a training contract. And if I graduate, I have nowhere to go. I have no home to go to. So things matter. Things matter. Third year is really important for me. So I picked very specific modules which I knew would give me enough time to still apply for grad schemes and training contracts, which I still found interesting and found easier, etc, etc. So education-wise, I had that patterned. And then from September, as you guys know, not even from September, because I've already done the application window once, I already had my applications ready to go. Like, if the law firm changed their questions a little bit, I'll tweak it a little bit and send it off. So from August, my application ready to go, and then from September and October, bang, 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 all my applications were out. And there's two big things I did that year in that window. Firstly, I applied for a winter vacation scheme, and I highly recommend it for third year students and non-law students who are like, I need to get some experience in straight away, because with winter vac schemes, they're usually 1 week. So you go in, you're your best self for a week, and you've got a 45, 50k job as soon as you finish, like, if you do well. So I had a winter vat scheme with a Silver Circle law firm. Really loved it. Honestly, I met some great people there. Like, some people I still talk to now. Another person who was a trainee at the time is actually an associate at my firm now. A similar sort of story. We're friends on Instagram. We talk quite a bit. There's another girl I love to bits. We speak quite a bit. There's some other guys, love to bits, we speak quite a bit. Long story short, I met some really great people, some good networks, learned a lot, but again, straight fat L. Is that the right way around? L, this way. L, massive, massive L, whatever it is. Rejection, and the feedback was like, ugh. I can't lie, this is another topic, like, in terms of like, just unhelpful feedback. But the feedback wasn't helpful, didn't get the offer. I was like, okay, cool. I was a bit annoyed because at the time, I was doing coursework. I had like 2 pieces of coursework, and I had a vacation scheme, and I had like 3 weeks to do it all. It was just too hard. Either way, did it, didn't get anything. But in this window, I also, speaking to my mentor, and I was like, should I apply for this firm, this Magic Circle firm, and should I do a vacation scheme or training contract? And then I'm in an R, and I was on the fence 50-50. So this was before my vat scheme I had for winter. I was like, oh, should I do it? And then she said, just do straight TC. So with this other firm, I did a straight TC. And I had this application sitting in the background whilst I had the vacation scheme with this other firm. And then in Jan, they invited me to an interview. I was like, wow, I've got a straight TC interview with a Magic Circle law firm. Alright, cool. And bear in mind, by this time, I've had 2 VAT scheme interviews. I've had 2 straight training contract interviews. I've had around 13, 14, maybe 15 or more open days. Like, I know what to expect. So going into this interview with Magic Circle law firm, I've got all this experience, but I was making sure I was ready. I've had enough rejections. I can't have another rejection because, one, my uni was in Warwick in the Midlands. Travelling down to London is long. You miss a day of work, a day of studying, whatever. You have a week to prepare already, so your whole week before is a write-off. And I said I had no home to go to afterwards. Like this was my exit plan. This is my only plan. So I knew I had this interview coming up. So how did I prepare? There's 3 things I did for the interview. Firstly, I phoned up my recruitment. I was like, "Hey guys, I have this training contract interview for this medical law firm. Can you give me a mock interview?" So great. They gave me a mock interview a week before, and I just ran through the questions to expect, ran through the deals, whatever. Cool, ready. And also the second thing I did is that I contacted my law school careers advisor, and I had a mock interview with that person too. Again, went through everything, fine-tuned it, and then a week before my interview, I just prepared. I read everything. I brought that like Jake Shoggan book, like the commercial law handbook. I read through all my deals. I caught back on all my stories. I was listening to the news like 3 times a day. Like, I was really in my bag. So when it came to coming to this interview, I had every single base covered, like bang, every answer I was comfortable with. So interview day came, and I travelled to London the night before, and I got a phone call and they said, "Oh, hey Tayshan, the person who's supposed to interview you has cancelled. Is it okay if we reschedule?" I was thinking, I travelled to work, I've had a week out already, not the most ideal. And I also thought, you know what? An extra week could do me because I'll just be even more ready. And if I come back later, it's more amicable, you know what I mean? So I was like, cool, no worries. So went back to Warwick the same day, had an extra week. So I did the same thing again. I just grinded all my coursework, all my seminar work, my tuition work, bombed, completely bombed. I was just drilling. Okay, cool. Then interview came. I can't lie, I hit that out of the park, man. Like, the way the interview was set up, we had a case study exercise. I'm going to do a video on this. I had a case study exercise. We had a normal competency, like CV-based interview. And then we also just like networked and spoke to a couple of people. Long story short, simple, cannot complain. And then 2 weeks afterwards, I was with my friend at the time and I got a phone call. I was like, But usually when I get a phone call, I'm like, yo, sound like a wild one. But I didn't recognise the number, so I was like, hello? And then I'm so glad I didn't say anything else. I was like, hello? And then the lady on the phone was like, hello, is this Tayshan? I was like, speaking. Hi, this is so-and-so from my firm. I can't bet on my phone. So-and-so from da-da-da. And as soon as she said that, man had that TC pattern, trust me, dog. So, yeah, I was like gobsmacked. I was like, wow. She said ABC, you've got the firm. And I was just like, I didn't cheer. I was like, thank you. I said thank you like 29 million times in that phone call. And it was just the biggest relief. Long story short, this is around February. Got the offer, hallelujah, cannot complain. And it was just, for me, it was a relief. It wasn't a case of like, oh, I was so excited. It was like, bro, I just needed this job. I didn't know what was going to happen to me after graduation. Do you know what I mean? I just needed it. Like, I couldn't do a master's. I could do a master's. I couldn't afford a master's. This was my thing. So I got the offer. And then I went to cruise control. I just finished the year. I did well. I finished with first class. And I played football. I did everything I wanted to do. And I just can't complain. There's a couple of key things I really need to flag. And the first one is, as I said, I came for half my life. At this time, I grew up in a council estate. So like, I was really guessing, going about doing things, trying my best. Learning, navigating imposter syndrome, learning about what suit to wear, learning about how do I speak, wondering, should I cut my hair because no one else looks like me, or like, how do I explain to my parents this is what I want to do, and do you know what I mean? So like, that was one thing which was really hard to navigate. Secondly, no matter the fact that I came from there, I had so much privilege. Like, I was still a cisgender, heterosexual, 6'2" man, and like able-bodied, I could speak English, so I still had a lot of these privileges as well. And I also went to Warwick, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I went to like a good Russell Group uni, so I still had these privileges. I still use mitigating circumstances when I need to. That was really important for me. I also always put my name in a hat to do something. So like, even if I was nervous, even if I was like, oh, I'm not too sure, even if I was battling imposter syndrome, I still made sure something could happen. And that happened for me. So like, I put my name in the hat for the scholarship program. And the scholarship program end up being a vacation scheme for me. And the vacation scheme ended up me getting a mentor. And the mentor ended up checking my interviews and advised me to apply for the training contract for the firm right now. And I've got TC and now I'm on my second seat. Do you see where I'm coming from? So like, they all started just from me like putting my neck on the line. Do you know what I mean? Just putting a couple in black. You know what I mean? Betting, gambling, just seeing what happens. That was one really big thing. And also having a bit of strategy. Like, I had a clear strategy going in. Like, as I said, at the start of the video, I was like, I'm not good at maths. I know, I'm good at maths, but I ain't a mathematician. I at science, I can read, I can write, I can debate, I can argue. I care about society, I care about business, and I want to make money. And I said, okay, how do I do this going forward? So every single step I made in my uni degree, I made sure it would make me better. So as I said, I spoke about recruitment, I spoke about going to open days, I spoke about joining scholarships, I spoke about applying early, I spoke about preparing for interview week before. Like, I spoke about constantly learning. Like, as I said, I was thinking, what suit do I wear? How do I shake hands? How do I have conversations? Like, everything I had to do to make myself better, I did. So that's what I would say for you guys thinking, okay, how do you get a training contract at a Magic Circle law firm? As I said, it's a bit of luck, a bit of strategy, and ultimately, it happens. And I don't believe in like, if you're good enough, you'll get it, because meritocracy doesn't exist. Like, yeah, I worked hard, but I was very privileged with my uni. I had a lot of luck and support with mentors, etc. So my main thing is, for people who are like me, from my particular background, hold on to people who you look up to. Ask them to mentor you, ask them for advice. They will guide you, because I learned vicariously. I learned through seeing things, I learned through hearing things, and I'm here now today. But that's how I got my training contract. Let me know in the comments, how did you guys get your TC? Let me know if you're still trying to get a TC. Let me know what barriers you're having. Let me know what issues you're having. Like, I'm really interested to hear, but that is just my story. Peace, Megan. I love you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Get on my Insta, get on my Twitter. I'm there. Trust me, dog. Okay, so where are we at? We had first year. Now we get into second year. So as I said,